Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. The content that I'm going to show you right now is some leaks that the White House has just put out, where they're hinting and saying and promising that soon, in the next few days and weeks, they're going to announce more executive actions on our gun rights in order to celebrate the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. You cannot make this stuff up. Everything I'm about to show you is linked into the description box below, and please send this one out so everyone in our community is fully aware of what they're going to kind of try to do in order to influence the election for Kamala Harris, who, by the way, is the purveyor of power in the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. Of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Let me hear you in the comments. And guys, this is one of those things you got to be prepared. And if you want a good way to be prepared, Tac Packs. Our day's sponsor is something that is going to help you out. This is a predetermined subscription box that is geared towards the AR-15 professional. It is highly curated. It has something ranging from $60 all the way to $140, and if you use code Langley, you get an additional box completely free in the code in the description. So please use that code Langley. Just for some examples, guys, we're talking about Kung Fu grips. We're talking about, you know what that thing right there is. You got micro lights. You have a Mantis training system. Guys, this box has something for everybody. Check it out. Again, code Langley and you get an additional box. It's worth your time. It's in the description. And thank you to them for making this possible. Let's get this over here and talk about what's going to happen with upcoming events in our Second Amendment. Here we go. Now, right off the get, this is an article that is coming out today. So I've highlighted September 22nd, 2024. That happened this morning. Okay, so this is right off the presses. It's coming from a source called Scripps News. And just so we're all familiar, Scripps News, running it through the media bias fact check, because I was not 100% familiar with them. They are high factuality and they are left-leaning and center. Okay, so that's how they are rated. They have a left-center bias. All right. Now that I've established the source, let me walk you through this and what they're promising, all right? There's a lot of stuff highlighted, and again, please send this out. So, the highlight up here. President Biden plans to sign new executive actions aimed at reducing gun violence, okay? That's weird because they tell us it's not a threat anymore, but it's also a threat at the same time for more control. Let's get into this. I had to highlight a lot because it's all important. The White House will soon announce new executive actions aimed at further reducing gun violence in America. Translated, that means more gun control. Scripps News has learned, just as 1 year marks since the formation of the Office of Gun Violence Prevention approaches. My, how a year of infringement flies. Senior administration officials have pointed to the creation of the first-of-its-kind office led by Vice President Kamala Harris as a landmark moment for President Joe Biden, for whom the issue of gun violence has been a decades-long focus. Yeah, anyway, let's keep on going. Quote, "We know that people are still dying every day in this country due to gun violence," which is weird because all the gun violence prevention, like executive actions, laws, all that promised it would go away, but it didn't. That's weird. Stephanie Feldman, director of the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, told Scripps News in an interview Friday. So this snuck under the radar on Friday. "Sometimes it makes national headlines. Sometimes it doesn't. President Biden and Vice President Harris are committed to continuing their long legacy of leadership on this work." And I'm going to conclude this here in a second once I get through these highlighted points. Feldman said the new executive actions will be announced, quote, "in the weeks ahead," but declined to elaborate on specifics, noting only that some pertain to the continued implementation of the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, while others are wholly new. So not only are you going to improve on your utilization of the crap sandwich that was the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the one amazing gun control act that did nothing but also at the same time did everything. Really impressive how they did that one. But also some that are wholly new. Oh my God, what's worse, the devil you know or the devil you don't? Well, we're going to find out in the coming weeks. So this is the last quote that I really want to hit, and then we'll kind of implement where they're going to go. Biden-Harris really asked us to address all angles of this issue, to address not only mass shootings, but suicide by firearm, accidental shootings, which is negligent discharges, and community violence, Feldman noted. Well, that's weird, and it's going to get really uncomfortable when they start noting all the things that are happening in community violence, because that's crime. That's not everyday, weapons of war getting off the street, off the shelves and safes and going to do things. That's actual crime and suicide. We've addressed that. So there's lots of things here. Now, here's the piece that we're going to be expecting, and just kind of analysis really quickly. In the next coming weeks ahead, which just happens to coincide with the culmination of the presidential race, Trump v. Harris, of course, it's going to try to make Harris look as this amazing person who's doing all of these things in order to put her into office. Look what I'm doing to solve the problem. That's the Biden administration setting up the Harris potential administration for success, or campaign for success. It's utilizing the office of the presidency in the White House and a new office they created, gun violence prevention, in order to bolster her campaign. All right? That's what you're going to be seeing. That's why it's going to be happening in the coming weeks. It's going to be the October surprise. Understand, they're trying to artificially create the October surprise. Now, there's some other stuff that I have in here that I highlighted down here at the bottom, but this is kind of where we're going, and I'll stay up to date on this, keep you guys up to date, make sure you subscribe. Data from the Gun Violence Archive indicates that the number of mass shootings this year has decreased by 20% compared to the same period last year, the White House report noted, and it's on track to be the lowest since 2019. I would also like to highlight more guns have been bought than any time in history. So how can the gun violence be going down if guns are the cause, but more guns have been bought than ever before? That's the way you need to look at this. If you're on the Trump campaign or you're a Republican running for office, that's the way you need to look at this. How is it possible, if guns are the problem, if more have been purchased in the several years in the past, or the most recent years in the past, how is it possible that crime is going down if guns are equal to crime? Hit them on this, because it's that easy. How is it possible? Answer, it's not the guns, it's the people. But anyway, let's keep going. But with about 4 months left in office, Biden administration officials are working to take advantage of the remaining time while preparing for the next administration. It says it right there. They are not doing the handing off to the next administration. What they're doing is they're trying to manufacture the October surprise to rally support for Harris in order to get her over the finish line in swing states. They're utilizing gun control and the infringement upon your rights to get their base out and vote. That's exactly what you're seeing right here. But we're not going to let them do it. As Trump says, yeah, we're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let them. But that's for another time. Everything will be linked in the description box below. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and I will see you guys on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.